Hi everybody, I'm Bree the Plant Lady, and today I am going to uncover all of the plants that got covered this week from our sudden cold snap. The great thing is we don't have any super cold temperatures in the 10-day forecast, so I'm not going to have to worry about recovering anytime in the next week or so. And well, I thought that I would record it so that you could see a real view of how everything fared after we got down to 20 degrees here in Fuquay-Varina, North Carolina. Well, let's start right here. Ta-da! Everything looks great. I've been doing this for several years, so I kind of knew that everything was going to come out well. But, you know, the proof is when you take the covers off and you see that there's no damage to those snapdragons whatsoever. All right, so far so good. All right, the big reveal of the wall. I'm super pleased that I did cover. Oh, there we go. And everything looks great. Albeit a bit dry, everything needs a really good drink of water. And now these, perfection. And I know the Savola in this one definitely died, but the Snapdragon and the cauliflower look perfect, so that's fine. I'm gonna remove the Savola and replace it with some Violas, which are obviously much better suited for the cool season. Well, I'm feeling really good. I know that this method works, and it's worked with temperatures far colder than 20 degrees. So that's why I really wanted to make these videos to give you this idea, so in a few weeks, if we have an even bigger temperature drop, you'll be set up for success. So again, these are just tomato cages with a burlap sack over top. And these do look, these flowers are definitely frost damaged, but the plant itself is fine. The plant will recover. Oh yeah. And you know, in years past, I've avoided these ornamental cabbages and kales because they usually melt with temperatures below 25 degrees. So I'm really glad to see that this covering has allowed them to still look good, because I'm not ready for them to melt. I've only had them a few weeks. And remember that newly planted winter containers can be more sensitive to cold damage, which is why putting a little bit of effort is worthwhile. And also, heading vegetables are the ones that tend to melt when temperatures are below 25 degrees. And in all of these, I have plants like broccoli and cauliflower, and I really want to be able to get them to actually produce. Now, since these weren't planted until mid-November, they're not going to produce until like late winter, early spring. So this will not be the only time that these containers get covered with my tomato cage and burlap. And I'm not going to deassemble these. I'm just setting them out of the way in a different section of the garden. All right, and here, some winter damage, but these are all plants that are hardy. Again, my main concern was the newly planted heading vegetables, and actually just heading vegetables in general. And as you can see, everything is looking good. I've also had some voracious deer eating, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and take this opportunity to put some cages up around this area to help prevent that excessive deer browse. Since the fence went in, the neighbors put in, the deer pressure is just off the charts. I didn't realize how having more open backyards allowed the deer to flow differently, but I can tell you what, this is their favorite yard in all of Fuquay. But Remade definitely did its job. I'm really, really pleased with how everything looks. All right, now it's reveal time. These are the vegetables that have been growing since September, and they look fantastic. No damage whatsoever. And with any luck, maybe I'll be able to harvest some of these for Christmas. It's definitely worth the extra effort of covering, because it's very possible that these would have gotten melted from this week's cold snap. And following a cold snap like we just had, watering is super critical. And again, I just can't believe how dry we are. Even though we got 2.5 inches of rain last week, you'd never even know. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this opportunity to water all of the cottage garden seedlings that are growing quite well. I didn't cover anything that was growing in the ground, and I didn't need to. Everything looks fine. But really the biggest risk at this time of year, and at least with the weather patterns that we're experiencing here in North Carolina, you got to keep everything watered. It's drier than what I'm used to at this time of year. So I'm gonna just keep reminding you all to not put those hoses away. Unfortunately, this is probably gonna be the task that we have to do the most of this year. Well, I've got to say, I think the thing I appreciate most about Remade, other than the fact that it really does work, is how simple it is just to fold it and store it so that you have it on hand the next time temperatures drop. And hopefully by this video, you can see through my example that just doing a little bit of covering will make a world of difference to help protect your plants during sudden cold snaps. Well, as always, thanks so much for watching, and happy winter gardening, everybody.